This is not on yet.
Okay. Facebook. There we go. Starting Facebook Live.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, I know we kind of a little bit late
Attention.
here.
Red circle. Abused women in relationships. Let's
Yes.
talk about IT.
All right. To you that will be joining us, we welcome you to abused relationships, abused
Abuse women.
women in relationships. Pretty sensitive topic, maybe for a lot of people. Hello, Sheila. Thank you for joining us. And we certainly gonna want some input from you ladies that will be joining us, and maybe you might have some men join us. We don't know as of yet, but we are talking about abused women in relationships. So really, what is that about anyway? Hello, Paula. Thank you for joining us again. Also, share this with other women. Let them know.
Yes, please share. Sorry, Instagram there. I had to flip y'all around.
Yeah, yeah. So what's up with that? I mean, we know that a lot of abuse is going on, whether it be mental abuse, physical abuse, spiritual abuse, financial abuse, and women are being abused across the board in different cultures all over the world, whether they're white or black or Hispanic or Asian or Indian or whatever the cultures they are. Women are women everywhere, and cultures are pretty much what they're like, and they all have their different set of rules. Some women can't say nothing. Some women gotta walk behind the man. Some women sometimes in front of the man.
Mm-hmm.
You got it going all kinds of ways. And even though there are statistics out here and demographics and different studies and different things that are happening, some women talk about the abuse. Some women don't talk about the abuse. So the numbers are not all that accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the numbers can be played with too to make it seem like one particular culture is more subject to abuse than any other culture, because you can't, all the mass information is collected, and you never know how that information is collected. They want to make it lean toward a certain culture to either say that they have the most problems, and you just really don't know how these numbers games work.
Exactly. So I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to pause real quick to acknowledge the people that are joining in on my YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, Facebook. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And
I'm
I
Mr.
just want to
Chati.
say, I know we said 8-ish, but we're
30ish.
late because this one here needed some chai tea. So
I'm Chati.
I got him on chai tea. So
Yeah.
now he's like ahead of me.
Yeah. So, me and my wife started doing these different little talks or whatever it's like that, sharing, and really trying to get a biblical perspective on a lot of things that's going on in the earth, because really it starts, you know, with the fall of man from the Garden of Eden to now, and why we are where we are, and through the blood of Jesus, reconciliation takes place throughout the world. And so we just want to kind of like just share, and this is something that we're doing, and it helps us. You get a lot of information about a lot of things that the Lord is sharing with us. Not that my wife is in an abusive relationship. No, don't even go there.
We don't
Hey,
want these hands.
yeah, 'cause
We
I
don't want
told you
these hands.
she a little thug, a Tallahassee thug. Anyway, so we like to share, and we like to get people involved. We don't want to seem like we're doing all the talking all the time and everything, but listen to y'all comments as we see you post them. And what are your thoughts on about women being abused in a relationship, and why do women? I know everybody got these theories and different takes on why women stay in abusive relationships, and but what's really going on that a woman finds herself more so getting abused in relationships to the point that either she's scared to leave them, or sometimes women do leave them and they can get killed, and that was in a relationship, or some women get into a relationship and really get messed up, or what do you think? I mean, you're a
Well,
woman. I mean, what happened? What's that?
well, I can speak on that just briefly. I was not
Briefly now.
in a let's see, a sort of kind of abusive relationship, but it was more mentally.
It wasn't me now. It wasn't me.
It wasn't him, but it was more mentally, and I it was threats to do things. I was being threatened that if I did this or did that, I was, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And so for me, I know that it was fear. Fear was a motivating factor for me of just, not doing anything or not trying to find a way out. Now, eventually I did what that was like when it got real extreme. But
Mm-hmm.
initially going through it at the time, it was fear, because for whatever reasons, a lot of people on the outside looking in, they say, well, I don't, how could they stay, and I would have been out of there, I would have been gone. See, mine wasn't physical for the most part, it was mental. So, even with that and not being physical, it was fear. And so I can imagine if someone is getting beat on, getting their head bashed in or, kicked and then also verbal abuse. Some women go through verbal abuse. And so, like I said, I know mine was fear. I was scared. Like, I was literally scared. Okay, we got Leslie Priest Vlog says, I believe I stayed because of my insecurities, thinking I had to tolerate it because I had a kid. I was also told, I would be dead before I died. Now I wish I would have known them. Wish I would have known then that he was a big old coward. Okay,
Oh yeah,
okay.
and then we got Sheila stands. So he told her, "I'll break both your
Your
legs
legs.
before I let you walk out that door."
And see, that instills fear. And see, a lot of people on the outside looking in, they say what they say. But like Leslie here said, she had a kid, and the same in my situation too, and not just a kid with the person that I was with, but other kids. And so also Sheila said that he was whoever it was said, I'll break both of your legs before I let you walk out the door. And see, a lot of people, until you in that situation, you won't understand. It's like trying to walk a mile in someone else's shoes.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Now, I mean, these are things like after that happens after you get into the relationship, but also it's almost like you gotta consider this too. What happened prior before you got into the relationship, and were there like signs that let you know that something was wrong, or did one time you get intimidated, because a lot of times do these women get intimidated in these relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and then they say, well, he didn't mean, or he might say, well, I love you, that's why I do what I do. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, what does that really mean anyway?
And
Help
then
us out.
Valerie says, I guess it's easy to say that when someone hasn't been through an abusive relationship. Yes, it is. It is. It's very easy to say it. Those things.
But would y'all also say that?
And they tell you, and then a lot of times too, you find stuff. Oh, he loved me. That's why he do what he do. I heard that a lot. With from different females that either got verbally abused, and physically abused, and even in my situation, being now with the mental, the threats of, oh, I'll do this, I'll pour some hot grease on you, or I'll pour the hot grits, or whatever the case may
Mhm.
be. It You get to the point where oh, he loved me, and you really really believe that. You really really believe that. Oh, that's why he's doing that, because he loved me. And it's just like, it's psychological. It's crazy.
Okay, but now look, I'm gonna be an advocate here. Okay, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate on this right here. And here's the thing: do a lot of women, and women, for you that don't hear that, and even my wife, whatever, but do a lot of women come into the relationship with baggage already, though? I mean, do they have like issues already with a man prior before they come into the relationship? Are they coming in insecure already? Do they bring baggage in already? I mean, what's going on that women have to find themselves so clingy in a sense, right, to a man, that they allow certain things to happen? I mean, talk to us. What's going on with? I mean, do y'all come in with baggage? I mean, I ain't saying that the man. We ain't talking about the man tonight. I'm going to do it with the women. We're talking about the man the other time. But what's up with that? Do y'all come in with daddy issues?
And a lot of times that's what it is. But let me hold up. We got this again. I don't know. This thing does something weird. But Sean, Lady Simo, I promise I was not ignoring you. I didn't see it till just now. Okay, hey y'all. I've never been in a relationship where I was abused, but my mom was by my father, and I think it was fear of how to start over and raising two kids on her own. Women also have to consider when they have children how the abuse affects their children as well. Yes, a lot of women come in guarded and is insecure from previous relationships too. Yes, yes, that is absolutely true. That when they have the kids involved,
Yeah, but
and finances, and a lot of women, because even in the statistics that we were reading up on, it was saying that a lot of women, majority of it was financial, because in those abusive relationships, the man was the money holder, the one who made the money, brought the money. If she left, she wouldn't have nowhere. Her first thing was, what money what finances am I going to have? And then the second thing was, where am I going to go? So those were the two top things.
Yeah, yeah, but still,
Sheila said, I was used to my dad yelling at our mom, and our kids didn't know what to look for. He was very easygoing and agreeable. I didn't know the signs. Oh yes.
Okay, but
I hear people say that too.
but still, my thing is, and y'all not answering my question here for me, ladies. Y'all not, yeah. You can talk about the symptoms of something, right? And the symptoms can be there after the fact. But I'm talking about before there was anybody, and with your first relationship or whatever like that, and what happened. Do a lot of times women come into the relationship and they have baggage.
Yes.
My thing is, because I didn't say it's a guarantee it's always going to happen, but if your father, because I'm gonna touch on it a little bit later, and the role, what happens, why women get abused and why men a lot of times abuse women, and I'm gonna share with you from a biblical perspective what's really going on in the area of that. But we just talking about this now because something has to be going on that will allow a man to put his hands on them and continue to let a man put his hands on them. So what is this? I mean, I know you say fear, right? It's fear there, but but what really is it? I mean, is it that women are not saying y'all, I'm saying, are women so insecure? I mean, dude, it's like you need a man, you got to have a man. Well, you want somebody to take care of your kid. I mean, what's up with all that?
Well, I can speak to that too because I know I have daddy issues. I had serious daddy issues because I grew up being a daddy's girl. I was like, my daddy was my whole life. Okay, he didn't even call me by my first name. He didn't call me Natasha. He called me Passion. Like we were tight like that. Hold on a second. I guess it's I have been in one, but I felt left because I picked life over death. Okay, Valerie, good for you. Praise the Lord. Some warning signs. Leslie Priest says, some warning signs. I had no idea. Controlling my decisions, changing my dressing, keeping me away from my friends and family. I allowed it because I wanted my daughter to have what I didn't. A mother and a father in the same home. Yes, that is a lot of people's answers to.
And Sheila says, I was used to my dad yelling at our mom and us kids.
I read that one.
Did I know what to look for? He was very easygoing and agreeable. I don't know this. I didn't know signs.
And then Sean, I think so. My grandmother was abused, and therefore it created an instability in my mother. She was guarded and insecure, hoping what happened to her mom didn't happen to her. Wow, some good ones. Yes. So, like I said, for me, it was daddy issues, and once I got to a certain age, and my daddy was kind of like abandoned me, if you will. So I had daddy issues. I had man issues, and I was looking for that love. I was looking for what I was so used to getting from my dad. I was spoiled. I was just, the attention and all that. And I just kept looking for it in man after man after man. Nobody was measuring up to what I was looking for. So I had my issues.
And what's the still in it? I wasn't allowed to see the male before him. The mall. What's this?
I wasn't allowed to see the mail before him. Oh, the mail when it came in the mailbox. Oh, that sounds like some Color Purple stuff, Sheila. Like Whoopi. Seeley, that sounds like some Color Purple stuff there. Yeah. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's a serious situation. But that sounds like some Color Purple stuff.
So a lot of times, it's pretty much what if y'all don't have no closure in daddy issues, what happened? You gonna look for that in another man. But you really won't be able to look for another man because what you're looking for is something you didn't get in the first man, which should have been your dad. Okay, so now this man is going to become your dad instead of your husband. I mean, is that how it works? He'll become your dad instead of your husband because what you missed, you didn't get, and if he don't give it to you like what you want, then what happened? Then you probably you'll start having issues, or you probably start getting frustrated, or whatever. It's like that because you're looking for the dad in the man when you really should be looking for just the man. Yeah. But now you're looking for something that you didn't get from your dad. Exactly, Sheila. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you don't really enter the relationship whole. Mm-hmm. You come into the relationship already half broken.
Wrong expectations. Too.
Yeah, or half broken or not healed. So the relationship becomes what? Controlling.
Because Valerie says, because you love them and think you can fix them, but in reality, it gets worse after he sees that you're not going anywhere. Yes, yes, that's the thing too. A lot of us women, we think we can fix a man, and that is totally. That is absolutely right, Valerie. Because you love them, and see, to you, you love them where you think you love them. You feel like you love everything about, the whole reason feel like you love them at that time until you come out of it.
So how do you fix the man if you're not fixed? How can you fix a man if
But
you're
see,
not
that's
fixed?
the thing. You don't know at that time that you need fixing. See,
Is
at
that
that
right? Y'all
time,
didn't know.
you
Y'all didn't know y'all
haven't
needed
seen
fixing.
yourself. You haven't seen yourself yet, so you don't know that you need fixing. All you see is him. They the one messed up. They the one needs fixing. I need to upgrade him.
Yeah. So the two wrongs make a right. I mean, how does that work? I mean, how does that work? That's my friend.
That's my friend. She wants to fix them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
I mean, and then if they don't come out like you want, then what you do? If they don't come out fixed like you want, but after you fix them, then who fixes you? I mean,
Christ.
What happens with this?
Had no clue. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Valerie says, I had a cousin that was stabbed 20 times because she tried to leave. Oh my gosh. Did she survive, Valerie?
Yeah.
Because that was another thing. The high statistic was, I think was the second thing, says most women, it was a high percentage
They get killed.
that once after they like report it or after they like try to leave or do something, they die by the second week. They end up dead. Very alarming. They end up dead by the second week.
So what happens with it? I mean, so are we able to move forward in other relationships? But what happens if you get past that one? Because some women can get past one abusive relationship, then go into another abusive relationship.
And it could be in a different way. It may not be the same.
Yeah, but it's another kind of abuse. He may have been physically abused. The second one may be mentally or emotionally abused or verbally abusive.
Sean said that's why as women we have to stay before God and allow him to fix what's broken in us before we can be whole for anyone else. You're no good to anyone if you're broken yourself. That is true. Amen, sister.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's what happens a lot of times with women.
But when you out there in the world, see, you don't know nothing about that. When you out in the world,
well, wait a minute. You got so-called Christians that get abused in relationships too now. That say they Christians now. They get abused by their husband. Both of them supposed to be in the church or whatever they're going on, and he hitting her and she hitting him, and before you know it,
that's what happened in my first with my first baby's daddy. With him, we were young, and he would try to put his hands on me. I would give him a good old beat down. Oh no, brother, we ain't even going there because the girl had some strong, good comeback. It wasn't like punching the box or whatever. But I used to. Now some probably would say he just let me do it, but oh no, he wasn't finna put me up, do nothing, because I was. Leslie Priest, I didn't have y'all at the time. My mom taught me that no weapon formed against me will prosper. I started reading Psalms and gained strength. Oh, okay, you gained strength to get out, to leave. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what you have to do because that's what he does. I had to be praying when he would threaten to throw stuff, hot grits or whatever on me. Even though he never did it, but he would do things like kick down the door, do things, and that would scare me. And so I really just was fear in the look in his eyes, that to the point I used to be praying some songs too, like, oh Lord Jesus, please help me, Lord, please don't let him do this. So I started fighting back. Then eventually after church one day I left. Okay, how did that work out for you? Did he come? Did you have to end up getting a restraining order, or did the situation die down? Did he just give up?
Mm-hmm. So it's apparent that
Sheila says that's why I'm done. I thought I've had both. Both what, Sheila? I guess are you saying abusive and?
But I wouldn't agree that it's a lot of wholeness and healing that needs to take place in our lives because we try to move forward, and sometimes we can't move forward because we don't have closure. In a lot of areas, and the Lord would have us to be.
he found me kidnapped my oldest. The police asked if I had custody. Didn't know you needed custody for your own kids. Oh wow.
I mean, stories out here, ladies. We know we have stories out here of abusive relationships, and everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people, especially women, have gone through a lot of unnecessary abuse because of insecurities, or the father wasn't there, or daddy issues, or you looking for something in the wrong place, and because you're looking for it, sometimes you get caught up in it, and you get deep into the rabbit hole, and before you know it, the guy know he has control over you. Uh,
Me too, Valerie.
You make him guilty of adultery, he would be cheating on me anyway. And I mean, it can go. What she said?
Sean says, I thank God my mom went to counseling and took her children too because it allowed me to learn what signs are of an abusive relationship early on, so I could make better decisions. Oh, that is great. That's wonderful. You don't hear that too often. That that the mother went to counseling and then took her kids too. That is awesome. Leslie says, it got bad before better. I just had to learn to fight the right way. Okay. Way.
And we know a lot of times you can have scars behind all of this, and you can have reservations, and sometimes I think not knowingly, you'll start looking at a man a certain way than you should, because there's really no closure there. You may have moved forward in some areas, but you have not moved forward in all areas of your life, and so the man is not really going to get the best of you. Because you still have some things that need to be made whole and healed.
Valerie says exactly.
In your life.
Leslie said my husband had lots of work. I hated sex. Didn't want to be touched. Felt I was not good enough because he didn't want me. Oh wow. I think I have sort of similar to what you just said there, because my husband has a lot of work to do with me, and that's something because most people say that, oh, when you think that God sends the one, when he sends the one that he has for you, that you're going to be, everything is going to be right. It's going to be, you're going to be, healed, whole, lined up. And that's what I thought. And I'm sure a lot of other people do too. But in my situation, that wasn't the case. And so in this marriage, it's been extra hard, having to deal with those issues, and my God using my husband to help bring them out and to help heal me and to help me see myself and see them, and and so it's been hard. It's been a hard transition. It's been rough at times because you don't be want to like get out of my business like that, but it's
not. I know it's not easy, women. It's not. It's not.
And God he knows what's best. So I'm like, okay, Lord, if that's the way you want it, then you know that this was what was going to work. And he the right one now. If anybody, he's the right one. So Valerie says, I got tired of sex too, but because I was sick of his ways and did not want to be touched. Yuck. Oh. Yeah, that's another thing too. I would not have sex. I would pull back from having sex to the point where he would rape me. Basically, that's what it is. Because if I say no and I'm adamant about it, I'm serious and I'm fighting you, tussling you not to, and you continue on, that's what it is. Very hard. Hubby only one knows all this till now. I was so ready to fight and run at every situation. Girl, I feel you.
And Sheila's talking about he used the Bible to excuse his actions and control me.
Oh wow.
Wow. That's one of the things that we want to get to.
She said she thought if she left him, she'd be guilty of adultery, and he would end up cheating on her anyway.
I mean, abuse comes in all different ways. That's my worth. That's all my worth was. A roll in the sack, a cook made, and baby said everything was about him and for him. And let me say something about that shit. What happens is when a lot of men find this about in a woman. And if they're not the right kind of man, they will take advantage of that, and they would exploit you as long as they can, get out of you whatever they can, still be doing their own business, but they pretty much know you ain't gonna go nowhere because they pretty much have you in control, and it's almost like entrapment because they done studied you and found out that you're weak, and that you're really not gonna go anywhere and do anything, and they can intimidate you.
Mm-hmm. Get out of here, troll. Bye. Ain't nobody showing you no private parts. I'll show you something private, all right?
It's a private place in hell if you don't repent. So, y'all know you can have trolls that try to come and sometimes try to get you off,
What's up with the man wanting
but we
to
ain't gonna pay
control
them no
you?
mind. Huh?
What's up with the man wanting to control you? Elaborate on that for me, Valerie. Chance, I think, she said, haha, she laughing at girl, don't even want to talk about trolls, because Periscope, they be like, when you put on your location when you out and about, but I be handling them good. They don't have no choice but to act right when I get through with them. Then they be like, they be on the right page then. Hubby used to say, what's wrong with you? You love the one who beat you, dogged you, do anything. He said, here I am loving you and your guard's up. And he said, I had a wall up. Bang. Is she, girl, you better get out of here.
You talking some stuff over there.
You better get out of here, Leslie. I ain't playing with you. Oh my goodness. That's like echoing, right?
Yeah, echoing a lot of things. But that's what happens. I mean, and
hubby used to say, well, okay, that was the same.
So how do we move past it? I mean, how do we get past the abuse, that goes on in our life? Because either there has to come some type of closure, because there can be no real freedom in you to be able to love or to honor or to cherish if you holding things, or if you have not allowed God to purge that stuff from you. Because the bottom line is God. We all know the bottom line is going to be God, because if God don't help you, then there is no help. And He is a wonderful counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens a lot of times. I mean, you can come out of a bad relationship and then come into a real good one, but then again, because so much happened in that bad relationship, when you come into a good one, it's hard for you sometimes to really recognize that that's a good relationship. And then sometimes you can mess up that good relationship that you just got into because you still have issues in the bad relationship, and you bring it over into this relationship, and either you don't trust, or he like the other man, or other kind of stuff, and so you still holding back. You're not really giving that person all of you. You're not doing that because of what happened, and still stuff in your what happened that ain't nothing happening now like it should be.
When I left, I took his power away. Oh, talk about it, Sheila.
So what do y'all think about that part there? I mean, what happens next? What happens?
Yeah, because when you never had a real man, then when you get one, you don't know how to treat him. You don't, because the whole situation is supposed to take place and go down with the mother and the father in the home, that balance out the mother, the mother and the father, replicate what relationship is, and how a man is supposed to treat a woman, and how a woman is supposed to treat a man. And the kids in the home, they see that, they see the loving relationship. They see them have disagreements but not arguing and fussing and cussing and beating each other. They see a healthy relationship. And so the daughter is taught, and she sees the real man in her father, so she knows what to look for. Leslie says, I thought he didn't make love right because it didn't hurt. That's how jacked up I was. Oh, wow.
You got some real good stories. And Sheila, you said you too old, you going to start over? God has other plans for you? All right, Sheila, well, you go ahead with what plans God got for you then. She said she's too old. But hey, you never know, Sheila. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. God can have a plan for you that sometimes goes against your plan. I'm not saying, you just never know. So you want to leave yourself open for whatever changes that God wants to bring into your life. And, because God knows the plans, like to Jeremiah, that I have for you. But the thing is, a lot of times that God really has to bring healing and wholeness to us, because it's hard to move into other relationships, and you still got some issues.
Yes, Lady Simone said you both have to submit to the will of God, and I know I may ruffle some feathers, but we have to play our roles. Men be the kings Godhead called you to be, and the women submit to your husbands, and the house will fall in line. Yes.
That's so true, Lady Seymour.
But
it's hard for some of these women to submit. It's hard now.
Because I'm going to tell you,
it's hard now.
My thing was because I was so used to be, it's like,
in control.
It's time now. Going in. Okay. I was so independent. I didn't need a man. I was like, I had it all going on, all worked out. I didn't need a man. I did what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. I was used to being in control. If even when I was in relationships, when I didn't like something, hey, I was always in a position where when it's time for you to go, you got to go. My name is on the list. This mine. This mine. Yeah, you gonna contribute while you here, and you gonna do what you supposed to do. But at the same time, when it's time, when I feel like it's time for you to go, you got to go. So coming over this whole submission thing, oh my gosh, whoo, Lord Jesus.
It's a hard thing for a lot of women to do. Women hate that word, submit, because they have to be independent for so long. How can they release their reins? But that's not how it's supposed to be.
You absolutely right, Lady Simo, and you never really can be in in alignment with God's plans and will until you learn your place and learn how to do it. God's order.
Yeah,
how to do it with. As the priest said, that's what I'm learning, but it's not easy submitting, especially being a sister and running it. Especially being a sister, you know what I mean, and running it. I had my own everything. You are not taught how to be humble, so learning on the curve is hard. And I should. That's when it's hard. Oh, now that when I should, that's when it's hard. Exactly right. Exactly true. I understand you. I feel you.
And Sheila said, I have no problem submitting. I just am more aware I could be taken advantage of. And see, that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about before Sheila, is that you still bring it over.
Yes.
Because what happened before kind of has a way of following you and stays within your mind, and you can move on in other areas, but you can't move in your mind, because where you really have to move on is in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind has to be released. And because you can remember what people have done. You'll never forget that, but you don't associate the feelings and the other things that go with it. And only God can heal you of that.
Mm-hmm.
You can remember the incident, but there's no pain, there's no remorse, there's no hate. And so when you move to another relationship, you don't remember all of that, even though the incident is there in memory or stored, but nothing else, because God healed you of the hurt. So when you feel as though sometimes you still can be taken advantage of, you're not really made whole in that area yet.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
So we tend to keep a wall up just in case. We hanging on for that just in case something happens, or just in case he wanna not act right. Just in case I can, my little wall here, so it won't be as bad.
She said, "Oh, all with my family are so controlling."
None of the men seem to have a backbone, and I vowed I would never be that way. It's a struggle though. Laugh aloud. Yes, it is, girl.
You
yes,
said something there, Lady Seymour.
Yeah.
A lot of women they can be very controlling.
Valerie says, I had to learn myself before I can love someone else. So now I am working on self. All right now, Valerie. That's what. And this is exactly. Yes, working on self. I didn't have time to work on myself because I ain't know myself. I'm learning myself now in this relationship, in this situation that God got me in. It's the best thing for me because it's just so many things and so much, I'm coming into, the woman that God calls me to be, and and he's here to help me become and do and be and all that stuff and bring out the better parts of me and get in there and just, help and do what you do.
And the Bible gives us good examples. It gives us some example of women that were submitted.
It's hard out here for a sister.
Submitted to their husbands, right? And that's why it has to be a spiritual connection. God has to bring the two together.
Well, I feel my past pastors throw at us Proverbs 31, but don't break down the process to become that Proverbs 31. That's true. There you go. You hit it nail on the head, and that's a lot of times the women in the body of Christ are suffering and have all these issues and stuff going on, and they always want to say, "Oh, Proverbs 31." Everybody wants to say, "Be a Proverbs 31 woman," and like you said, they don't break it down and they don't spend enough time there.
And that's why most of that's going to come through the man that God gives you, because the man has to be spiritual enough to be able to minister to his family.
Yes.
I mean, and
can't be no little weak push over, shove over, no backbone. What you call them, baby? Pen packed and all that. No, he gotta be a
He has to
strong
be,
man.
because
strong
yeah,
man. The
yeah.
enemy gotta first bind a strong man. Okay.
Okay, so to lose your identity. It's okay to lose your identity in the marriage. You're one of the flesh. Actually, actually, you don't really, Sheila, lose your identity in the marriage, because who you are, as God will have you to be, and who He is, and God brings the two together, and that's how you be able to complement each other, because you have certain things about you that complement you, and He has certain things about Him that will complement Him, and the two of you come together, and you become a complement one to each other.
Yes. Okay, hold on. Valerie said, my mom passed away just when I started dating, so I didn't have her to go to for advice. Same here, Valerie. Same here. My mom was killed by a drunk driver right when I was like 15. And so, like I say all the time, my mom had been still, I wouldn't even had kids when I had kids. My mom was strict,
She
boy.
said she didn't know my
And
spiritual
Lady Simo
fruit.
says my mama call them jellybacks. Okay.
And she said I didn't know about spiritual fruit when I dated him.
him.
See, and let me say this. There's something's going on over there.
Oh, it's poor connection on this.
Let me say some of that, and see, and this is the whole thing. This is where the cycle has to stop, because God really has to do something in the lives of not just women but men as well, because then you're gonna have seed that's gonna come through the relationship, right? And what happens is that there has to be a relationship with God before there can be a relationship with anybody else. That has to be understood. God has to be first and foremost in your life, because even the Spirit of God has to give you a heads up on what's going on. You just can't marry and just marry. You just can't be in a relationship and just be in a relationship, because you have to be spiritually connected by the Lord. Because God knows exactly what the man and the woman needs, and the woman comes with things to help the man, and the man comes with things to help the woman, so you become helpers one to another. Even though the woman was designed by God to help the man, true, but the man has to be the man that God has sent into your life, because if not, you won't be able to help him, but he will hurt you. And before you know it, now you have situations, you have stuff that's going on in your life, and the enemy wants to perpetuate pain and abuse and pass it on to your seed. And this is how you keep the abuse pattern going on. Well, my mama was this way. Well, now I'm that way. My daddy was this way, and I'm that way. And sometimes you don't come up with the mother and the father, and sometimes you can have both parents there and still don't come up right. So God really has to be the center of all relationships, and the man really has to be Adam, and the woman really has to be Eve. You can't be marrying somebody you ain't got to been as married. Before you know it, you picking up some stuff along the way, and before you know it, now you in the son of, well, I didn't know he was like that. Well, I didn't know she was like that. And you got all these I don't knows out here. You gotta break those you're right. You gotta break those generational curses. And women, only way a woman gonna know who she is, she has to get into the face of God. She has to spend time in the face of God. Sometimes a man can be gone somewhere, gone to work, and you there inquiring of the Lord. Lord, teach me how to be 1 Peter 3 woman. Don't help me how to be slow to speak, quick to hear, slow to wrath. Help me how to show me how to treat this man, how to love this man, how to be there by his side. Prayers that women have to pray, especially in our faith, when our faith is concerned, because God can only tell you about the man. A lot of times, my wife would pray things. She would pray things. Because like she said earlier, I can't fix it. That's your man. That's your man. You know your man. You know the man you gave to me. So a lot of times we can do more praying and in the face of God and seeking God. And while we're doing that, God can be healing and making us whole, because the closer you get to God, the more God can purge you and cleanse you.
Yes.
And sanctify you from a lot of different things, a lot of hurts and pains. Because you need freedom. You got to have freedom in relationship. You got to be free to worship. You got to be free to love. You got to be free to see that man the way God wants you to see that man, even though other things have happened in your life before. And that's with all of us. But that's why God said, the psalmist said, Lord, create in me a clean heart, because that's what you're going to need, and renew a right spirit within me. Because I can't continue thinking this way, that every man's going to be the same way, and I can't love that man the right way, and I can't give myself to the man like I need to give myself to that man, because I've been hurt. And I'm not, and a lot of people have been hurt, not just a whole lot of people hurt in a lot of things, but the hurt from moving forward. You have to learn from the hurt, right, and be more watchful, but at the same time too, allow God to do what He needs to do in your life. If not, then you'll never be free in a relationship. If you can't love God like that, then you won't be able to love nobody else like that.
Exactly. Very well said, right? We looking around, we got 4 different.
Yeah, man, we looking around, seeing what was going on. So freedom is you being free, and when you free, then you're free to move in a relationship like God will have you to move into a relationship. Because a lot of times, again, God brings people into your life when He know that you are ready for something, ready for change. God brought my wife into my life because where we needed to go, and she was the one that God said, well, she's gonna help. But at the same time, too, I'm gonna have to bring you into her life because there's some things I'm gonna need you to help her with. You know, our help comes from the Lord, but you're the man that I'm gonna send, and I'm gonna send into her life because you're conditioned, you're spiritual enough to help her to understand, and you have the patience, and you can endure some of the kickbacks you're gonna get. Yeah, man, the kickbacks you're gonna get from her because she just ain't gonna fall in line like that. She's just not gonna submit like that. She's just not gonna get it like that. And you have to be patient because where both of you have to go. And so you can't say, oh man, you can't just throw in the towel because she's tripping. Well, I could be tripping.
But he ain't done with me yet, boy. I'm be doing my best, boy.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And I believe every woman wants freedom, because everyone wants to be in a move in a relationship and have somebody that. And a lot of times, women, if y'all don't know this, and I share this with my wife quite often, that the way God designed it, the man is the conduit, okay, and the scripture says that the man supposed to love the woman like he loved his own body, okay, and like the man, like Christ takes care of the church, the man's supposed to take care of his family. See, a lot of times people don't know their roles. We don't know our roles when we come into relationships. We just do what everybody else do, marry, and we think it's love, and it's really not love at all because there's no way you're going to really understand love until you first learn how to love God. And when you learn how to love God, then God can teach you how to love yourself because you really got to love yourself first. I think somebody said that first. I don't know if my wife said it or somebody said it. You have to be free to love you. And you have to be confident in you and sure in you. You have to know who you are because you don't want a man trying to take away your identity. And all of a sudden, you don't need a man to validate you. The man doesn't come to validate you at all. God has to validate you. So when you come into a relationship, you're already validated by God. He knows who he is, and he's validated by God. So now that both of you are already validated by God. So you can move in the relationship like God wants you to move into a relationship as you grow together in the relationship. Because you still have to grow.
But what he does do, I'm sorry, babe. Yeah. What he does do is because he's allowed to see who you are. And so therefore he can confirm, what God already shared with you.
Or he's sharing with you. Because like in our relationship, the Lord told me a lot about my wife. And I have to know a lot about her. For the Bible says, dwell with your wife according to knowledge. So my relationship with God allows me to know a lot about my wife because that's my wife. She's a part of me now. So I will need to know a lot of things about her.
Sean said, right. That's it. It's just like working a job. You can't just show up to work and start working. You have to know your role and play your part. Same thing in your marriage. Yes.
It is. And the women, I believe, have a greater respect when they know the man is in the face of God. And the man is able to speak to his family. This is very important. It's very important for women. If they already with insecure relationships and intimidated by relationships, and also find a man that knows his place in God and able to love his wife without abusing, saying abusive words, verbally abusing her, mentally abusing, emotionally abusing her. That's only going to trigger what have happened before. And before you know, down the situation gets escalated. And when it gets escalated, then she starts cussing him out, and all of a sudden she's lost, like you said, her boundaries. She done stepped over her boundaries. He done stepped over his boundary. When two people step over their boundaries, there's bound to be an accident somewhere. Something's going to happen. Somebody get hurt, killed, smacked, jabbed, whatever. Before you know it, there's going to be cops up in the air. You never know what can come out of this situation because now the flesh has escalated to a point of physical abuse, and you really don't want that. So the bottom line is God. It's God in the relationship. And the man has to be the man that God have called him to be so the wife can understand, as I was saying before, the wife understands the love of God through the husband. I don't know if y'all heard that before. You will never understand the love of God outside in marriage is because God placed a man in there to love you like Christ loves the church. And when you experience that type of love, you have no problem submitting. You have no problem following the leadership that God has placed temporarily. over you.
Unless you got some strong,
Yeah.
rooted, deep issues. And then you like gotta work some things out.
It ain't always easy, but it ain't hard either, right? But God knows that, and He knows that that's why you're there. I need you to do some things at the same time too. I'm gonna perfect both of you, but I'm gonna need you to be patient with this one because where you'll have to go is it's gonna take a little bit.
And it's gonna be all worth it in the end. All worth it in the end.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
I'm sweating.
Uh-oh.
It's hot up in here. Sorry, y'all. Perspiring. But you know, it releases toxins, so it's good to do that.
Yeah, don't give up on us. Hurrah, hurrah.
Says, oh, we gonna get there, Prophet. Don't give up on us. Ha ha ha. Okay, yes. Yes.
Oh no, I ain't giving up on my wife, man. That's my good thing.
Because
THANG.
he know who I am. See, he believes in more. Oh, how to say? He believes in more. Wait, I'm saying right.
More in her than she believes in herself.
Yeah, he believes more in who I am than I do. So that's why he's always, he's firm. He don't, let up, and he's always, on me, and because he knows who I am.
Yeah, because I see.
He don't see my now.
I see where she's supposed to be.
Yeah, he always telling me that. He sees where we're headed. He sees me there already.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for that. Yes, thank God for that. Praise the Lord. I'm enjoying the topic. Thank you, Valerie. We're glad you're enjoying it. We're enjoying it too. Thank you guys for, coming in, joining the conversation and contributing, engaging. This is nice.
But I know well, a lot of things we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be very honest with ourselves in relationships because sometimes we know we have some stuff. And you have to be able to share that stuff and with your spouse or whatever it's like that and be able to, and he has to be able to hear you because you can have some things going on in you that people just need to hear. And
should have said that's precious.
Yeah, it is. So I have to be an ear to my wife, right? And my wife has to be an ear to me. And then we go at it together in the relationship because God will never have me to abuse her because I cannot be in the face of God and abuse my wife. That won't happen. That can never happen.
Say good men are hard to find. And that's the thing, Valerie. You don't got to find them. They find you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's scripture too now. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
So you're right. Good men are hard to find when we're trying to find them ourselves.
And a lot of times,
absolutely right.
A lot of times we don't have a good picture of a man. We don't know what a man really looks like. I ain't talking about physically. I'm talking about a man that after God's own heart. I like you being a part of this.
All right, Sheila. Shout out, Sheila. Say I like you being a part of this, Tasha. Thank you, Sheila. That's my girl over on Facebook over there on my husband's page. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's such a compliment.
So if you ever want to know what a man's supposed to look like, then that means you have to get in the face of God, and God will tell you what a man's supposed to look like. Because he will condition you so when you do see that man, you're going to know that's the man. And that man going to know that's you. And that's when after Adam saw Eve, Adam recognized the woman that came out of him because the woman that God has for the man is going to come out of the man. That's why the man is able to recognize her and call her who she is. And God placed that in the man. So the man that God has for you has to be the woman that comes out of the man. That's why a lot of relations don't work because that's not the woman that was in the man that he's supposed to marry. No, she's supposed to marry. And this is why a lot of people get messed up in relationships.
We're going to do one about that too.
Yeah.
Oops, I married the wrong man or woman.
Oh, that's a good topic. Oops,
and I
married the wrong man or married the wrong woman.
And Sheila, my husband's he says that all the time about, us, we're better together. So, that's funny she said that. He always said that we're better together.
Yeah, we ride or die. Bonnie and Clyde, Aquila and Priscilla. This is how we are. I already know who she is, right, and what she has. And what she has is what God gave her. It's like a part. 2 parts make a whole. So by myself, I could, but I wouldn't want to because I'm not designed to go halfway, all the way. And so we good, man, like that. And that's what we want.
He's always trying to pull me and stuff. I'm always like, nah, I'm good. I'm always like this.
Gotta stay on her, y'all. Gotta stay on her, man, because she has potential. She has potentials, and God wants to bring her to that place where she wants both of us, because she has to come. I can't leave her. cannot leave her at all. No, I don't want to leave her. Oh, no. So I think we're gonna kind of like bring.
Oh, you got me blushing on live.
It's loud. sound like my hubby. She does not sound like a hubby. Yeah. You completely lost. Yeah. So we would go at it together, and whatever Lord will allow us to do in sharing and caring, that's what we're going to do. So we hope.
So yeah, sounds like my hubby. Oh, okay. Sean said sounds like her hubby.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you got your good one over there too, huh?
All right. So if anybody.
Yeah, we want to. It's been 50 minutes. So.
Yeah. So we want to bring it on in. We ain't trying to hold you all night or nothing like that. But if anybody got any closing comments, if you feel free.
Or questions.
Or questions at this time, other than what we've already read.
I guess I just may go ahead and leave this up on my channel. This was fun. I appreciate y'all having these sessions. Need more of them. All right. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for supporting.
And if y'all got any things you like to talk about, or things that maybe we can kind of like have like discussion like this. Hey, can you guys share something on this, or can y'all share something about this, or whatever like that. You have, if you have some things that you kind of like want to
let us know.
Let us know, man. We don't mind sharing as God shares with us. We'll share with you. Not a problem.
Yes. Huh.
Okay. Well, that's all we have for now. So again, we appreciate you, my wife and myself, and all of you that have been a part of this
this live discussion.
Yeah.
Interactive.
She said effective prayer is a topic me and my hubby were just talking about. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Effective prayers is a topic. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Effective prayers.
We certainly can. We can certainly share that along effective prayer. Would love to hear your thoughts. Okay. What's your thoughts? I have to get up at 3
How to get a prayer
okay.
through. Okay, effective prayers and basically how to get a prayer through.
Okay, Sheila. We know you got to go, so appreciate you again, okay? Get you some rest.
Thank you, sis, for
rest.
joining in.
I got to get up early too, Sheila, so I feel you there. Well, not that early, still early, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys for rocking with us again on the live tonight.
Yeah.
And until next time, you guys keep it real, and we will see you in the next one. Lord say the same.
Bye-bye.